we're gonna try this again. I just tried to go live here on YouTube and got internet connection issue, and I think I lost almost half of my video. So doing this over. 42% of businesses are now owned by women. Hi y'all, thanks so much for joining me. In less than 15 minutes, I'll be sharing with you some information about how women of color are impacting the entrepreneurial market. Like and share this video if you get value from it. And if you are listening to this as a replay on the podcast, drop a heart in there. Appreciate your support so much. I'm Dr. P. I'm a strategic business coach. I've been a school psychologist for about 10 years here in the U.S. on both the East and the West Coast. I've also served on professional organization committees on the local, the state, and national and international levels. And I've been a part-time professor for a master's level graduate psychology courses, taught over 10 different online graduate courses. So wanted to talk about this topic because I remember when I started school psychology, I found out that it was predominantly male at the higher levels, right? And I'm talking those high district executive director levels in the school districts, at universities, at colleges. I'm sorry that just activated. Today is a day full of exciting things. So you had a lot of men at those high levels for the university, for the colleges, for the school districts, and in professional organizations. But you know what? I didn't let that stop me because I kept going because I'm like, hey, I know why I got involved and I wanted to make this difference. But here's the thing. I remember sitting down at one of the leadership meetings at the national level, and I was kind of looking around the room, and I was like, wow, there are a lot of men in this room, right? You could kind of count the number of women who were in there. But then I actually took a look at the women who were in there, and I was like, whoa, you really could count the number of women of color who were being represented at national level. And this is for a professional organization that is speaking on behalf of thousands of school psychologists. And it was just a handful of women of color who were being represented at the national level. And for me, that meant things had to change. So I did make sure to encourage, a lot of young women who are coming through the profession, and even women I was working with, to get involved in the professional organization, because that's how we can impact change. Because if you're not a member of the table, then it's going to be very difficult for you to impact change, right? So transition into my career now as a business coach. And I was kind of curious as to how many women, own businesses there were out there. And then how many of those businesses were actually owned by women of color. So Inc.com did a study. And in this study, they found that 62% of women who started their own businesses actually used to work in corporations before they started their own business. But guess what? They got tired of their jobs. That's why they decided to quit and start their own business. So if you're one of those women sitting in one of those organizations and you kind of got an idea for a business that you want to pursue, or you kind of started a side business that you're working on and you're hoping that would lead into something bigger, here's the thing. This video is going to help motivate you to take that next step and be your own boss. But before I really get started, I do want to share that the information in this video I've taken from several sources, and those include Inc.com that I've mentioned, Business Wire, Fast Company, and Creative Cultivate. So I just want to give recognition to those sources because that's where I got a lot of this information from. And I'm also using my own experiences and observations. And the statistics I'm going to be presenting are based on the US. So I just wanted to throw that in there so people are aware of where this research is coming from. So the Small Business Administration did a research study where they suggest that a lot of the improvements that they're seeing in the number of women-owned businesses are related to improvements in education as well as economic necessity. So they're looking at that as those two things as factors for why the number of women-owned businesses have increased. So we're going to talk about a couple different statistics, and it's really going to be motivating and exciting. And I know some people don't like talking about statistics, but the thing is that if you don't know how many women-owned businesses there are out there, hey, you're going to find out in this video for sure. So in 2019, the US Census Bureau did their annual report, right? Because they always do annual reports. And they looked at the previous 5 years. And they found that in that 5 years, the number of women owned businesses increased by 21%. 21%. So that brought the number of women owned businesses to 42% overall. Hey, that is 8 shy of 50, which means we got 8 more percent for women owned businesses to be 50-50 with men owned businesses. Wow, that is amazing. As identifying as a woman, for me, that's amazing that there 42% of businesses are owned by women. I knew it was a high number, but I didn't know that number was that high. And did I mention that out of that 42%, those businesses employ 9.4 million workers. And those businesses account for $1.9 trillion, not million, not billion, trillion dollars in revenue generated. Seriously, let that sink in for a minute, because that is powerful. You're saying, you're learning that 42% of businesses, as of reports done in 2019, were owned by women. And they were providing employment for 9.4 million workers. That's a lot of workers, right? So they're providing opportunities for 9.4 million people to have employment. And they in turn get to use that employment to reach whatever goals they're looking for. So, hey, you have an idea about your business, or you started your business and you're not quite sure where to take it, but you have ideas on where to take it. Come on, let's get you some support, because you could be in a position to add even more workers to that 9.4 and even add more revenue to that $1.9 trillion in revenue. That's just some stuff for you to think about. And it gets even better, because if you're a woman of color, here, listen up. 89% of new businesses that were started in 2018 were owned by women of color. Seriously, 89% of those new businesses in the US. And it was looking at the fact that a lot of the new businesses that were started were kind of like side businesses. And out of those side businesses, for women of color, Black, African American, Pacific Islander, and Asian American had the largest increase in the number of businesses started in the past 7 years. Seriously. Like I said, these statistics were going to be encouraging. I know they're encouraging for me, and that's why I really wanted to share it. And I hope they're also being encouraging for you, because this is awesome. Because we have a tendency to sit in our own little world and think of all these different things without understanding the facts that are out there, and not realizing, hey, I'm not alone. There are other women out there. Oh my gosh, women are making changes. They're getting out there, owning their own businesses, starting their own businesses, and growing their own businesses. So just like me and you, we can add to those businesses that are women-owned, women-run businesses, right? So if you are curious about what are those industries that women have been starting their businesses in, give you a little time to guess what those top 3 are. Just a few seconds for you to think about it. Now I'm going to share with you what those 3 categories are. First up is those other services: hair and nail salons and pet care. I know some of you probably had that in your list. Then the next one is healthcare and social assistance. So I'm talking about child daycare services, home healthcare services, those type of things. Then the third one is that professional, scientific, technical services. And those include lawyers, bookkeepers, architects, public relation firms, and consultants. So those are the top 3 categories for women-owned businesses, right? I mean, there are other categories out there, but I just wanted to share with you the top 3. And if you are one of those top 3, awesome. You have this idea, you have a business, continue developing it so you can take it to the next level. And Look and see what some of these people are doing so that you can learn from their mistakes and take it to the next level. And if you're not quite sure, remember you still have options out there. You can utilize the services of a coach. You can join a peer advisory board. So you're not on an island all by yourself, and you're getting the support you need to develop your idea for your business. Those are things I really want to make sure that you are aware of. You're not in this by yourself. You might think that you're not getting the support from family and friends who are currently around you. But guess what? There are other women business owners, other women entrepreneurs out there. You connect with them, then that can help you go further in your business idea if you're now starting, and even developing that idea to get you to the level of achieving your goals, your dreams, your vision, your mission. So I know these numbers are encouraging, they're motivating, they're inspiring, all those positives. But let's be honest, that despite all of these increases, there's still challenges that women face when starting the business. And one of those biggest challenges is access to capital or funding for their business venture. PitchBook did a research where they found that 2% of venture capital funds go to US based companies that were founded by women. Yeah, 2%. That's not that much, right? But you know what? Women are resilient. And so what if that is not an option for them? They're utilizing different avenues. They've utilized Facebook groups, for instance, because how many groups are you a member of, right? Come on, raise your hand, because there are women who are utilizing that Facebook group to give that support, to help each other, to spread information about their product, about their service, because that's where you can share value with others. Then you also have opportunities wherein several women are starting podcasts where, again, they're sharing information about their product, about their service, and providing value. The thing is that, yes, you might be struggling to get that capital that you're looking for to get started or to take on a new product or create a new service, whatever it is. But that doesn't have to stop you from making other progress in your business. For instance, I'm utilizing YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. No, my Facebook just crashed on my live video, right? But I'm utilizing different avenues to share information, to share value with others just like you, so that you can be aware of this information. And that's how we can share value. And also, you never know, because the connections you end up meeting might lead to that capital that you've been looking for to help you either start that product or service development or to take it to the next level that you're wanting. You never know, right? So despite those challenges, like I said, women are still making strides and making improvements in their business. So you can also learn more about which states have the highest number of women-owned businesses in this article from Business Wire. When you message me, I can give you the link to that article, because I know I was a little surprised by the top 5 states, and then it also breaks down like the top 5 cities where there has been that increase in women-owned businesses here in the US. Seriously, take a look at that article. Then Creative Cultivate has an article where they feature 99 Black women-owned brands and entrepreneurs. And I looked through that article and I was like, whoa, I use some of these products. And I didn't even know, one, that they were owned by women, and two, that they were owned by Black women. So really suggest you take a peek at that, because if you're wondering, oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't go into this industry because there are not that many women in this industry, or I don't know of any women in that industry. Here's the thing, take a look at that list. Yes, I know it's featuring Black women owned brands, but here's the thing, it is featuring brands and entrepreneurs. So when you look at the type of brands and entrepreneurs that are being featured, maybe that is an industry that you're currently interested in. Maybe that's the industry that you are currently in. And to help you with your value proposition, to help you with that competitive advantage, looking to see what they're doing can help you to position yourself and position your business in such a way that you have that competitive advantage. Because remember, part of doing your market research is looking to see what other people are doing and then using that information to make your business different. And that's the other reason why I shared this information in today's video, because part of building a business is doing your market research. And for some of us, knowing how many women own businesses or are in the same industry can be very beneficial. And then looking at those businesses to see what they offer can really help us with crafting our position, with crafting our value proposition, and really pushing out that competitive advantage. So remember, solutions plus actions equals results. Thank y'all so much for joining me, and I'm glad this time around the video went to the end. Thanks, y'all. Bye.